Hello, welcome to Math with Mr. Dobrescu, to the rescue. Have you ever wondered about different type of forms of linear equations? It's right here. First of all, we have a slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is one of my favorite because it's very useful, especially in middle school and in high school. And the slope-intercept form of the equation is this one, y equals mx plus b. Please remember this one, slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. This is the slope-intercept form. Very useful. Let's take a look at point-slope form. Point-slope form is this one right here. Point-slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Remember that. And let's take a look at the other one, slope formula. We've been using this for many weeks. Slope formula, remember, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's correct. Slope formula is this one right here. This is the slope formula. And finally, the standard form is ax plus by equals c. This is the standard form, and we are going to use standard form, especially in Unit 5, when we are going to solve systems of linear equations by the elimination method. We need to have the equation in standard form. A number times x plus a number times y equals another number. Okay, remember that ax plus by equals c. Remember these forms because it comes handy, especially during a test when you have to identify different forms of linear equations. Let's take a look at an example here now. Here we have write the slope-intercept form of the equation 11x minus 8y equals negative 48. And remember the slope-intercept form is this one, my favorite. Y equals mx plus b. My favorite. Slope. This is the slope. And b is the intercept. Y-intercept. Y-intercept. Remember that. We are going to use this form, y equals mx plus b, and we need to get this equation into this form. Therefore, the y has to be by itself. So in order for us to get the y by itself in this equation, first of all, we have to subtract 11x on both sides. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. Okay? So let's subtract here 11x minus 11x cancels out. So we are left over with negative 8y equals negative 11x minus 48. Be very careful here. Many students think that we can just combine negative 48 and negative 11 and get negative 58. But that's not okay, that's not right. Because here we have negative 11 times x. This is one term, and 48, negative 48, is another term. So we cannot combine them together. Okay? But remember, we need to keep negative 11x first and then minus 48. And finally, to get the y by itself, here we would have to divide both sides by negative 8 so we can get the y by itself. So let's divide negative 8 here, negative 8 here, and negative 8 here. All the terms have to be divided by negative 8. Negative divided by negative becomes a positive y, or just y. The same here. Negative divided by negative becomes a positive. Let's keep 11 over 8 because we cannot simplify that further. X, and negative 48 divided by negative 8 becomes positive 6 plus 6. Because 6 times 8 is 48, and negative divided by negative becomes a positive. So our answer is y equals 11 over 8x plus 6. 11 over 8 represents the slope, and 6 represents the y-intercept. That's it. If you need to pause, you can pause this video and take a look how to write the slope-intercept form of any equations. Let's take a look at another example here. In this example here, we have to write the standard form. So the standard form of the equation. And please remember, the standard form was this. Remember, ax plus by equals c. This was the standard form. And obviously we have here, our equation goes through this point 3, 5, and has a slope of 5 over 3. Anytime we have a point, we have to go and label that point. So 3 represents our x, and 5 represents our y. And slope is just m equals 5 over 3. In order for us to get the standard form, first we will need to get the equation into y form, y equals mx plus b form, and we need to get the b first. To do that, we need to write our equation. Remember, y equals mx plus b. This is my favorite equation, y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form. And now, instead of y, we are going to plug in the 5. So we have 5 equals, instead of m, we have 5 over 3. 5 over 3 times x is 3, and then plus b. And obviously now we can see that 3 and 3 cancels out. So let's simplify 3 and 3. So we are left over with 5 equals 5 plus b, because those are simplifying. So in order for us to get a b by itself now, we have to subtract 5 on both sides. Let's subtract 5 on both sides, minus 5 here. Wow, both of them are simplifying, and we get b equals 0. So our b equals 0. Everything here turns into 0. So we got the b, we also have the m, and now we can rewrite our equation. Let's rewrite our equation. So we have y, remember, keep the y and keep the x. Y equals mx, m is 5 over 3x. And the b is 0 plus 0. This is the equation in the slope-intercept form. But we have to write it in the standard form. You see, the x, ax, the number times x is on the other side. Right now, we have it on this side. Therefore, we have to subtract 5 over 3 on both sides of the equation so we can bring this x on this side. So let's subtract 5 over 3x on both sides, minus 5 over 3x. Okay? And obviously, in front of the y, we have a number. See, b, y, d represents a number. But right now, our y does not have a number, so we can put the invisible 1 here. Okay? So our final equation, you see, 5 over 3x and negative 5 over 3x cancels out. Okay? 0 is at the end. Our c is 0. Okay? We have the now the ax, so the x is now negative 5 over 3x, negative 5 over 3x, and plus 1, because we have 1 there, plus 1y. And this is our answer written in the standard form, ax plus by equals c. Not too much to it. Please remember to follow these steps and get to our equation. And finally, let's take a look at our last example. Here we have to write the point-slope form. Remember, the point-slope form. Point-slope form is this. Remember, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This is the point-slope formula. So we are going to write our equation into this form, and then we'll be done. Okay? Again, we have an ordered pair, but in this case, when we are going to label the x and the y, we are going to label negative 2 as x1, because we have it in this formula, right? And 4 is going to be our y1. Because remember, at the end, when we write this point-slope form, we need to keep the x and the y. Always keep the x and the y, right? So the x and the y is going to stay in our problem at the end, right? So now, it also said that our equation goes through this point and is parallel to another equation y equals negative 5 over 2x plus 5. What does it mean when our equation is parallel to that equation? Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. You got it. Therefore, we are going to do something in math. We are stealing. In math, we can steal sometimes, and we are perfectly justified. It's okay to steal in math. Remember that sometimes. So we are going to steal this one. We are going to steal negative 5 over 2, and that's going to be our slope. M equals negative 5 over 2, because our line has the same slope as the other line. So we are stealing that slope, negative 5 over 2, to use it in our problem and get our answer. Okay? So that's it. We have the x1, y1, x1, y1. Now we got the slope. And now we are ready to plug it back into the formula and get the final answer. Okay, let me use a different color here. So our final answer is, keep the y, right? I'm going to write it here bigger, y minus y1. So y1 is 4. So minus 4 equals, instead of m, we are going to plug in negative 5 over 2. Negative 5 over 2 times x. We keep the x, remember? And minus x1, which is negative 2. But remember, negative times a negative becomes a positive. So that becomes plus 2. And now we are done. This is our final answer. Point slope form. That's it. Please remember to go over all these problems today. And especially I want you to remember and know the different forms of linear equations, because it's going to be on the test. Okay? Don't forget that. And please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video, and stay tuned for our next video. All the best to you. Mr. Dobrescu, to the rescue!